Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Professor Diwa. In this video, I'll be going over multiplying polynomials. Our objectives are to multiply polynomials, square binomials, multiply the sum and difference of two terms, evaluate polynomial functions. Alright, so let's get started. First, we're going to go over the product rule for exponents. Here it states, if a is a real number and m and n are natural numbers, then a to the power of m times a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m plus n. We apply this rule whenever we multiply the bases of like exponents together. In the next set of examples, I'm going to show you how we apply the product rule for exponents. For example number 1, multiply. For part A, we have 2c to the 6th power times 5c to the 2nd power. When we multiply these two together, what we do first is multiply the coefficients together, so 2 times 5 is 10, and then we take care of the exponents. We have c to the 6th power times c to the 2nd power. We apply the product rule for exponents here, which means we're going to add the exponents together. So we have 6 and 2 is 8. So our final answer is 10c to the 8th power. For part B, we have parenthesis 7y cubed z to the 4th power, close parenthesis, times parentheses, negative x, y to the 5th power, z, close parentheses. First, we multiply the coefficients together. We have 7 and a negative sign, which we can multiply as negative 1. So we get negative 7. Next, we multiply any like terms together. So we have y cubed and y to the 5th power. We apply our product rule for exponents. So we have the exponent of 3 and 5. Add that together to get 8. So that gives us y to the 8th power. We have z to the 4th power and z. When we multiply those together, we add the exponent of 4 and 1 to get z to the 5th power. Our final answer is negative 7x y to the 8th power z to the 5th power. For part C, we have negative 2xy times the parenthesis 7x squared y plus 3xy minus 11 close parenthesis. What we need to do here is distribute the negative 2xy inside the parentheses to each of the terms. I'm going to start by multiplying negative 2xy with the 7x squared y. We get 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. X times x squared is x cubed. Y times y is y squared. Next, I'll multiply negative 2xy with the 3xy. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. X times x is x squared. Y times y is y squared. Finally, we multiply negative 2xy with negative 11. We get positive 22xy. Our final answer is negative 14x cubed y squared minus 6x squared y squared plus 22xy. Next, we have a practice problem for you to try. Multiply. For part A, we have 7y squared times 4y to the 5th power. For part B, we have parenthesis negative a squared b cubed c, close parenthesis, times parenthesis 10ab squared c to the 12th power, close parenthesis. For part C, we have negative a squared b times parenthesis 4a cubed minus 2ab plus b squared, close parentheses. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video, try this problem out, and then check back with the video to see the solutions. Alright, so let's get started with part A. First we multiply 7 times 4, which is 28, and then y squared times y to the 5th power is y to the 7th power. For part B, we multiply the negative and the 10 to get negative 10. A squared times a is a cubed. B cubed times b squared is b to the 5th power. C times c to the 12th power is c to the 13th power. The final answer is negative 10 a cubed b to the 5th power c to the 13th power. For part C, we first multiply negative a squared b with 4a cubed. We get negative 4 a to the 5th power b. Next, we multiply negative a squared b with negative 2ab. We get positive 2a cubed b squared. Finally, we multiply negative a squared b with positive b squared. We get negative a squared b cubed. The final result is negative 4a to the 5th power b plus 2a cubed b squared minus a squared b cubed. For example number 2, multiply. We're multiplying the binomial 2x minus 3 times the trinomial 5x squared minus 6x plus 7. When we do the multiplication, you essentially do a double distribution. To make things a little bit easier for us, I'm going to use a table to do the multiplication. On the table, we have 2 rows which represent the binomial and 3 columns which represent the trinomial. On the first row, we have 2x. The second row, we have minus 3. On the first column, we have 5x squared. The second column is negative 6x, and the last column is plus 7. When we do the multiplication, we just multiply the first row by each of the columns. Starting with 2x and 5x squared, we get 10x cubed. 2x times negative 6x is negative 12x squared. 2x times 7 is 14x. Next, we move on to the second row. We take negative 3 and then multiply it by each of the columns. So we have negative 3 times 5x squared is negative 15x squared. Negative 3 times negative 6x is positive 18x. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. The next step is bringing down any single terms and then combining any like terms. So I'm going to bring down the 10x cubed, and then I'll combine the negative 15x squared and the minus 12x squared to get negative 27x squared. Next, I'll combine the 18x and the 14x to get 32x, and then I'll bring down the negative 21. The final result is 10x cubed minus 27x squared plus 32x minus 21. Next, we have a practice problem for you to try. Multiply. You have the binomial 5x minus 1 times the trinomial 2x squared minus x plus 4. Go ahead and pause the video, try out this problem, and then check back with the video to see the answer. Alright, so let's go over the solutions. On my table, I have 2 rows and 3 columns. For the first row, I have 5x. The second row is negative 1. On my first column, I have 2x squared. The second column, I have negative x. And my third column, I have plus 4. Doing the multiplication for the first row, we have 5x times 2x squared is 10x cubed. 5x times negative x is negative 5x squared. 5x times 4 is 20x. Moving on to the second row, negative 1 times 2x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 1 times negative x is positive x. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Next, we go ahead and bring down the 10x cubed, and then we combine negative 2x squared and minus 5x squared to get negative 7x squared. And then we combine x and 20x to get 21x, and then we bring down the minus 4. The final result is 10x cubed minus 7x squared plus 21x minus 4. For example number 3, multiply. For part A, we multiply the binomial x minus 1 with the binomial x plus 2. To do the multiplication, we do a double distribution using the FOIL method. FOIL is an acronym to help you remember which terms to multiply together. So F stands for first, O is outer, I is inner, and then L is last. First, we multiply the first terms together, so x times x is x squared. Next, we multiply the outer terms together, so the x and the 2, which gives us 2x. Now we multiply the inner terms together, so negative 1 and x, which is negative x. And then we do the last terms. We multiply negative 1 and 2 to get negative 2. So the result is x squared plus 2x minus x minus 2. From here, we go ahead and combine like terms. We have 2x minus x is just x. And then we bring down the x squared and the minus 2. So our final answer is x squared plus x minus 2. For part B, we need to multiply the two binomials together. We have 3x squared minus 7y times 5x squared minus 2y. Again, we use the FOIL method, so we multiply the first terms. 3x squared times 5x squared is 15x to the fourth power. Next, we multiply the outer terms, so we multiply 3x squared times minus 2y is negative 6x squared y. Next, we do the inner terms. Negative 7y times 5x squared is negative 35x squared y. Finally, we do the last terms. Negative 7y times negative 2y is positive 14y squared. The result is 15x to the fourth power minus 6x squared y minus 35x squared y plus 14y squared. Next, we combine like terms with the negative 6x squared y and the minus 35x squared y. We get negative 41x squared y, and then we bring down the 15x to the fourth power and the 14y squared. The final result is 15x to the fourth power minus 41x squared y plus 14y squared. Next, we have a practice problem for you to try. For part A, multiply the two binomials together. We have 4x minus 3 times x minus 6. For part B, multiply the two binomials 6x squared plus 5y times 2x squared minus y. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, try out this problem, and then check back with the video to see the answers. Alright, so let's get started with part A. We multiply 4x and x to get 4x squared. 4x times negative 6 is negative 24x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. The result is 4x squared minus 24x minus 3x plus 18. Next, we combine like terms with the minus 24x and the minus 3x. We get negative 27x. We bring down the 4x squared and the 18 to get 4x squared minus 27x plus 18. Moving on to part B, we multiply 6x squared and 2x squared to get 12x to the fourth power. Next, we multiply 6x squared with minus y to get negative 6x squared y. Now we multiply the 5y and the 2x squared to get 10x squared y. Finally, we multiply 5y and negative y to get negative 5y squared. The result is 12x to the fourth power minus 6x squared y plus 10x squared y minus 5y squared. Next, we combine like terms in the middle. Negative 6x squared y plus 10x squared y is positive 4x squared y. We bring down the 12x to the fourth power and the minus 5y squared. The final result is 12x to the fourth power plus 4x squared y minus 5y squared. Next, we're going to go over a formula which will help us multiply together perfect squares, or the square of binomials. First, we have the square of the binomial a plus b. This is equal to a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. After simplifying, this is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Next, we have the square of the binomial a minus b. This is equal to a squared minus ab plus b squared. After simplifying, this is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. This formula is essentially a shortcut for multiplying a perfect square. You just square the first term, which is a squared, square the second term, which is b squared, multiply the two terms together, so a times b is positive ab, and then double it. You could see here for the second formula, it works the same way. Square the first term, you get a squared. Square the last term, you get b squared. Multiply the two terms together, we get negative ab, and then double it. So let me go ahead and show you guys how we apply this in the next example. In example number 4, multiply. For part A, we have the square of the binomial 3x plus 2z. For this problem, we're going to apply the perfect square formula to do the multiplication. If we square 3x, we get 9x squared. When we square the second term, 2z, we get 4z squared. When we multiply together 3x times 2z, we get 6xz, and then when we double it, we get 12xz. So the final answer is 9x squared plus 12xz plus 4z squared. Next, let's apply the perfect square formula to part B. We have the square of the binomial 3 plus, parentheses, 2z plus q, close parentheses. So when we square this binomial, we just apply the perfect square formula. We square the first term, so 3 squared is 9. The second term is actually a binomial, so when we square this, we write it as parentheses 2z plus q, close parentheses, squared. Now we multiply the two terms together. This would just be 3 times the parentheses 2z plus q, and then we double it. So we get 6 times the parentheses 2z plus q, close parentheses. The result is 9 plus 6 times the parentheses 2z plus q, close parentheses, plus parentheses 2z plus q, close parentheses, squared. First, I'm going to bring down the 9, and then do the distribution with the 6 and the 2z plus q. When we do the distribution, we get 12z plus 6q. And at the very end, we have the square of 2z plus q. We apply the perfect square formula. When we square 2z, we get 4z squared. When we square q, we get q squared. Next, we multiply the 2z and the q to get 2qz, and then double it. So that would be 4qz. The final answer is 9 plus 12z plus 6q plus 4z squared plus 4qz plus q squared. Next, we have a practice problem, multiply. For part A, we have the square of the binomial 6a squared minus 2b. For part B, we have bracket 2 minus parenthesis 3x plus y, close parenthesis, close bracket, squared. So go ahead and pause the video, try out this problem, and then check back with the video to see how you did. Alright, so let's go ahead and apply our perfect square formula to part A. We take 6a squared and square it. This is 36a to the 4th power. We take the 2b and square it. This will be 4b squared. Now we multiply the two terms together. So 6a squared times negative 2b is negative 12a squared b. We double it and we get negative 24a squared b. The final result is 36a to the 4th power minus 24a squared b plus 4b squared. Moving on to part B, we go ahead and square the first term. So 2 squared is 4. We square the second term. So this would be parentheses 3x plus y, close parentheses, squared. We multiply the two terms together. So 2 times negative parenthesis 3x plus y, close parenthesis, is negative 2 times the parenthesis 3x plus y, close parenthesis. And then we double it. So that's negative 4 times the parenthesis 3x plus y, close parenthesis. The result is 4 minus 4 times the parentheses 3x plus y, close parenthesis, plus parenthesis 3x plus y, close parenthesis, squared. Next, we bring down the 4, and then we do the distribution with the minus 4 and the 3x plus y. We get negative 12x minus 4y, and then finally we apply our perfect square formula to the last term. When we square 3x, we get 9x squared. Squaring y, we get y squared. Multiply the 3x and the y together to get 3xy, and then double it, so this is 6xy. The final result for our answer is 4 minus 12x minus 4y plus 9x squared plus 6xy plus y squared. Next, we're going to go over a formula for multiplying a difference of squares. So when we multiply the binomials a minus b times a plus b, we get that this is equal to a squared plus ab minus b squared. After simplifying this, we get that this is equal to a squared minus b squared. To use this formula, all we need to do is take either one of the binomials, square the first term, and then subtract the square of the second term. So we get a squared minus b squared. So let me go ahead and show you how we apply this in the next example. In example number 5, multiply. We have two binomials multiplying each other. The first binomial is written as bracket, parentheses, 5x minus 2y, close parentheses, minus 1, close bracket, times the binomial bracket, parentheses, 5x minus 2y, close parentheses, plus 1, close bracket. We could see that this is in the format of a difference of squares. If you take a look at the first binomial, this would be a minus b, and then the second binomial, this would be a plus b. So we could apply our difference of squares formula. When we square the first term, we get parentheses 5x minus 2y, close parentheses squared, and then we subtract the square of the second term. So the square of 1 is just 1, and then we subtract it. The result is parentheses 5x minus 2y, close parentheses squared, minus 1. The next step here is multiplying out this perfect square. So we just apply our perfect square formula. So squaring the 5x, we get 25x squared. Square the 2y, we get 4y squared. Multiply 5x and the minus 2y together. This will give you 10xy. Double it, we get minus 20xy. And then we bring down the minus 1. The final result is 25x squared minus 20xy plus 4y squared minus 1. Next, we have a practice problem for you to try. Multiply the two binomials. For the first binomial, we have bracket, parenthesis, 2x plus 3y, close parenthesis, minus 2, close bracket, times the second binomial, which is bracket, parenthesis, 2x plus 3y, close parenthesis, plus 2, close bracket. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, try out this problem, and then check back with the video to see the answers. Alright, so let's get started. First, we square the first term. This would be parenthesis 2x plus 3y, close parenthesis, squared. Next, we subtract the square of the second term. So 2 squared is 4, and then we subtract it. The result is parenthesis 2x plus 3y, close parenthesis squared, minus 4. Next, we multiply out the square of the 2x plus 3y using the perfect square formula. We square the first term, so 2x squared is 4x squared. Square the second term, so we take 3y and square it, we get 9y squared, and then we multiply the two terms together. 2x times 3y is 6xy, and then double it. This will give us 12xy. And then we bring down the minus 4 at the end. The final result is 4x squared plus 12xy plus 9y squared minus 4. For example number 6, multiply. We have three binomials multiplying each other. First binomial is x minus 3 times the second binomial, which is x plus 3, times the third binomial, which is x squared minus 9. The first thing that we need to do here is just multiply going from left to right. Starting with the first two binomials, this is a difference of squares. So we just square the first term, which is just x squared, square the second term, so 3 squared is 9, and then we take the difference. So we get x squared minus 9. And then we bring down the last binomial, the x squared minus 9. So I have parenthesis x squared minus 9, close parenthesis, times parenthesis x squared minus 9, close parenthesis. You can see here we have a perfect square, so we just apply the perfect square formula. So we square the first term. X squared squared is x to the fourth power. Next we square the second term, so 9 squared is 81. And then we multiply the two terms together. X squared times negative 9 is negative 9x squared. We double it to get negative 18x squared. The final result is x to the fourth power minus 18x squared plus 81. For example 7, if f of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 2, find f of a plus 1. To find f of a plus 1, we just take the binomial a plus 1 and substitute it into the function for x. We get f of a plus 1 equals parenthesis a plus 1 close parenthesis squared plus 5 times the parenthesis a plus 1 close parenthesis minus 2. The first term is a perfect square, so we apply the perfect square formula. We have a squared is a squared. We have 1 squared is 1. We multiply the two terms together to get 1a. Double it to get 2a. Next, we distribute the 5 inside the parentheses to the a plus 1. We get 5a plus 5. And then finally bring down the minus 2. The result is a squared plus 2a plus 1 plus 5a plus 5 minus 2. Next, we just combine like terms. 2a plus 5a is 7a, and then we have 1 plus 5 minus 2 is positive 4. The final result is a squared plus 7a plus 4. Alright, so this is the end of our video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Professor Diwa, and I'll see you in the next one.